What is going on, Multiversers? Welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday. You know what that means. The next episode in the Multiversus Yay or Nay series. And I've been getting a lot of requests over the past like 3 to 4 weeks for the Powerpuff Girls. So they're finally going to be getting their own episode for the series. If you've never seen the series before, going to be taking a look at a specific character, happens to be the Powerpuff Girls this week, and we'll dive into some possibilities for some attacks that they might bring with them, some alternate costumes, stuff, what would they possibly bring with them into Multiverses if they were playable. And then down in the comments, you can play along by either simply typing yay, you want to see this character as playable for Multiverses, or nay, you don't want to. Pretty simple idea. But let's get into the first possible attack here. So the Powerpuff Girls do share a lot of similarities, powers, abilities, height-wise. So Multiverses, like data-wise, so like hitbox, hurtbox, maybe, height, speed, that sort of stuff, they'll probably be extremely similar, if not identical. So some attacks, maybe they do share the same attack. So I envision them kind of like as a Pokemon trainer-esque type character. They share some moves, but then they also have their own abilities and powers that they can use, and we could turn those into like some, neutral special attack or something like that. So we'll kind of get a little mix and match here. So up first is Blossom, and we're going to go with Ice Breath or Frost Breath or whatever. So I know Superman has something similar to this, so we could make it a little bit different. So Blossom here could have the Ice Breath, and maybe this could be... Maybe it could cover a wider area. Maybe the range on the attack could be a lot longer, than Superman's, just kind of do something better, or not necessarily better, but something different than Superman, just to kind of make it a little bit different. So this could be her neutral special. But if you happen to have Bubbles out there, what would you do for her neutral special? Well, she does have an ability, I believe it is called the Ultrasonic Scream. So she kind of like rears back and then just lets out an enormously loud scream. So it has its own cone-shaped hitbox that kind of goes outwards. So it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like the Frost Breath, but it's not going to apply any sort of freezing mechanic. It's just something that maybe there's like a stun effect to this that could be very well possible, but this does work for a neutral special as well. But then what about Buttercup? Buttercup does have the ability to have fireballs. She can create fireballs. So why not have that for an ability for her neutral special? Charges up a fireball, she can throw that outward. So that, it's just an idea that, for each of the girls that they can have their own powers, because I do believe they should be separated in terms of, move set, but it's fine if they also share some similarities as well, because, well, they do. Move number 2, we're just going to kind of go with like something they would share in general. They all have laser eyes, so this could be something that, I don't know, maybe an air attack, but they just kind of, the eyes just start kind of glowing and they just fire out like a couple laser beams. Maybe it could, instead, how Superman's is kind of more pointed at the ground, and then wow, there's a lot of similarities to Superman here, but we'll make it different. But how Superman kind of looks straight down at the ground and then kind of like looks upwards as he's doing it. Maybe these ones for the Powerpuff Girls, their laser eyes can literally just go straight across the stage. So maybe just kind of a little bit of a snipe tool. Maybe it doesn't rack up too much damage, but it will hit the opponent nonetheless. And, just kind of long range stuff to kind of mess around with your opponent. But laser eyes, they work pretty well. And move number 3, we're going to go with the Dash Kick. Now, each of the girls, they have their own color scheme, color swap. They have their own color that kind of identifies with each of the girls, right? So for this attack, they kind of glow in their respective color, for example, and then they just kind of leap out. So I imagine this kind of like as maybe a grounded special, a grounded attack, maybe an air side special, something like that. They'll cover a distance, they'll kind of like dash forwards, and then they just deliver this kick like upwards. So it kind of launches the opponent upwards. So they can end up, following up with something else in the air. So it covers distance and knocks the opponent into the air, allowing you for another follow-up. So this could be a really fun attack. Again, with the dash distance, you can also use it for recovery purposes as well. So I figured this one could work out pretty well. But there you go. Just another idea for an attack. Now let's talk about alternate costume ideas. Now, the first one that immediately popped into my head that I was like, this would be a no-brainer for alternate costume. I would, if this ended up being a legendary costume, I have no problem paying 2,000 Gleamium for this. But the Rowdy Rough Boys, come on. Who does anybody remember the Rowdy Rough Boys? I just remember a friend of mine when we were growing up, he told me that the Rowdy Rough Boys were an actual thing. I didn't believe him because I'd never seen the episode with him, but he's like, yeah, they're in the intro to the show. And I was like, I never seen them, but then I did see them in the way back and I was like, wait, they do exist. And then I finally seen the episode. I was like, wait a minute, this would be awesome. So Rowdy Rough Boys would be amazing for an alternate costume idea. This one I would just love personally. But another idea, what about the one where they kind of join the band and they kind of got the I don't know, the band look, I guess, if you want to call it that, rock and roll outfits, if you will. You know, you got them on the drums, the guitar, on the actual two of them are on the guitar. You get the idea. It's a band look. It's an idea. Maybe it's not the best, but it is an idea nonetheless. All right, for the yay or nay portion of the video, you guys could have definitely answered whenever you feel like it, but for me, Powerpuff Girls get an absolute yay. Doesn't matter if they're a 3-in-1 or if they're like 3 separate characters, or if they're only one character and then say Blossom is the character, but then you have to buy the alternate costumes for like Buttercup and Bubbles. I think that would be okay too. But, you know, because again, they do share a lot of similarities. So however the Powerpuff Girls may be interpreted in Multiverses, I'm all for it. So I'll give them a big yay. Let me know what you guys got down in the comments. But we're not quite done with the video yet because we got the updated yay or nay stats. So friendly reminder, we got 4 brand new characters debuting this week, and all of them did like very well. One of them did so well that they actually debut in 3rd place. That is right. Here's your first 6 characters: Daffy Duck and Wile E. Coyote, still number 1 and number 2. But Darkseid, he only had 1 week, but the stats, the numbers don't lie. Darkseid starts off with a 94.11% yes to no ratio. Had 68 votes, 64 of those were yeses, and 4 of those were nos. So somehow Darkseid actually is the 3rd most wanted character from this Yay or Nay series, which is crazy. That means Raven dropped down to number 4, Ben 10 is in 5th, and Samurai Jack is in 6th. Raven actually dropped a little bit of percentage points, but everybody else on here rose a little bit, so good for them. Characters 7 through 12, and we do got another debuting, the 2nd of 4 debuting characters, Spear and Fang down in 10th place. They come in with 72 total votes. 65 of those were yeses, 70 of those were nos, so their debut spot in 10th place. They have a 90.27%, which is pretty good. But then you can see the rest of them: Mordecai and Rigby in 7th, Fred Flintstone in 8th. Funny enough, Mordecai and Fred Flintstone have the exact same stats: 120 votes total, 110 yeses and 10 nos. Absolutely crazy, as well as their percentage. But Animaniacs in 9th place, 91.27%. We got Ice King moving up a little bit into 11th place. He's up 0.44%. And then we got Godzilla, who actually fell a small bit. He fell 0.17%, but he still has the 2nd most, I believe. Yeah, 2nd most total votes out of the entire series, only behind Daffy Duck. Teen through 18, we got The Mask, Grimm, Johnny Bravo, the 3rd of 4 debuting characters in Robin, who comes in with 91 total votes. 81 of those were yeses, 10 of those were nos. Robin starts off with an 89.01%. And look at the percentage of Johnny Bravo, 89.02. Bravo is literally 0.01% above Robin. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. But and then we got Robin in 16th. Yosemite Sam is in 17th, and Joker is in 18th place. But funny and weird thing, I don't know if that's funny, but every character except Joker went down in percentage point from the previous time we've seen him. So congrats to Joker for moving on up. 19 through 24, we have the fourth and final debuting character with Muscle Man down in 23rd place. So he starts off with 79 total votes. 68 of those were yeses, 11 of those were no's, and Muscle Man has an 86.07% yes to no ratio, so not bad at all. But we got 19, we got Emmett from the Lego Movie, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, King Kong in 21st, Static Shock in 22nd, and KO in 24th place. So KO and Emmett were the two characters that ended up moving upwards in percentage. Scorpion, King Kong, and Static Shock, unfortunately, all fell down a little bit in the percentage category. Now we got 25 through 30, which is Popeye the Sailor Man, Scooby-Doo, all three Eds, Maxwell from Scribblenauts, Gumball, and Black Hat. So, yeah, this was another not so great one. Everybody except Gumball from they all went down in percentage. So Gumball did pretty dang good. I mean, 130 votes, that's like top 5, I believe, for like most total votes out of any character, maybe like top 7 or something, but 130 total votes, 107 yeses, 23 no's. 82.3% of people would rather have them playable than not playable, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, everybody else lost a little bit of percentage, unfortunately, but sometimes that's the way it goes. 31 through 36, we got Mau Mau, Pennywise, Pibby, Vilgax, Mojo Jojo, and Yogi Bear, in that order. So nothing too crazy again, except maybe when you look at the percentage change down at the bottom for each of their character brackets, they all dropped in percentage points again. The lowest percentage dropped was Pibby. She only lost 0.07%. But then the big dropper of the week was actually Mojo Jojo. He's been dropping quite a lot. I guess people just don't like him, which is fine. But he dropped another 1.58% from the previous time we've seen him. And then Yogi Bear dropped 1.19%. So all these characters are going in the wrong direction. 37 through 42, we are almost done, but not quite. But 37 through 42, we got Harry Potter, Sonic the Hedgehog, Beavis and Butthead, Walter White, Spinell, and Jotaro. So the good thing is, if you're a Harry Potter fan, his percentage points went up. If you're a fan of Sonic and Beavis and Butthead, unfortunately, their percentage points fell. But then Walter White, Spinell, and Jotaro all jumped up percentage points. So, yeah, still interesting. The official Multiversus Discord has Walter White as the second most requested character. But then our stats have only a 63% of people actually want Walter White compared to, well, the others that don't. So kind of interesting stats on how they kind of clash there, but hey, numbers don't lie. And the character who comes in dead last, Ruby Rose. We've done 43 characters. Well, I guess Powerpuff Girls technically make it 44, but we have 43 characters with official stats, and Ruby Rose is at the very bottom. I mean, it's not like she's doing terrible. She has a 61.5%, yes to no ratio, and she moved up 1.07%. So, I mean, she's going in the right direction percentage-wise. But, yeah, there's a lot of strong competition. She just happens to be at the very bottom of the rankings. Either way, that is going to be it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed. And I guess I'll see you when I'm looking at you.